What's good, everybody? What's going on? Welcome to a Winning on Wednesdays here in the War Room with my man Doc Rannigan setting up our IG live over there.
That's it.
And
What's going on, folks?
We got the remote Honorable Casey Ashmore getting ready to go on vacation, staycation. What are you doing, Casey?
I'm going to 10X Growth Conference leadership training in Miami, Florida.
Grant Cardone, baby.
Yep.
I love it. There's going to be some heavy hitters going on at that conference.
Yeah, and you know, it's culminates with spring break, but it doesn't have anything to do with a break or springing, or it's just about springing ahead in business. So,
man, Casey, I'm happy for you, dude. You're going to bring back a ton of knowledge to share with our audience, man. I'm pumped for you.
That's
Can
exactly.
you give me one of those 10X hats while you're there?
Yeah, you doggone right, Skinner. I'll bring you one.
There you go.
I'll bring you one that says, "Don't be a little bitch."
Oh, I got two of those shirts. And we're good over there.
I got that shit's tattooed on me.
Or how about success is my duty?
I like it.
So here we go. Let's get started real quick. So we're winning on Wednesdays. We're getting prepped for $10,000 Thursdays. And tonight we're going to talk about a little bit of innovating forward. So like we always do, tell us about how your week's been so far, guys.
Shit, where do I begin? My week is always just super busy. My favorite little term is busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest.
You got to get a new one, dude.
I'm looking for them. As soon as I find one, I promise I'll share it with everybody else. But I've been busy getting ahead. A lot of people get busy getting by.
Yeah.
And that's scary, where they're just scrimping. They're living paycheck to paycheck. They're just trying to meet ends meet, you know what I mean? And so we've been doing a lot of great things on both sides of the company, continuously being innovative, coming up with strategic ways to reach our target audience, managing. Man, we're probably managing 10 different projects right now.
Yep.
From the people that were affected by the frozen tundra that crept through Texas. And so we're making tons of progress, and our clients are extremely happy. So business is good. Been working a lot of late nights, staying up late, and just doing what we have to do to get to the next level, really.
What about you, Casey?
Man, what a day, what a week. So got a new team in place. You know, we had some changes in January, which was a blessing. And I feel really thankful. We got Austin back from the bar exam. We got Elaine started up as our new paralegal in training. We have started thinking in a really expansive way because, you know, let's face it, got Corona right there at New Year's Eve, right? The end of quarter four, like literally the whole family got Corona. So 20 something days of quarantining and it, you know, I'm not gonna make an excuse, but Corona made it difficult. It made it difficult, guys, to do that end of year. Let's plan ahead through quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4. It made it difficult. I mean, you had that Corona fog. You're fatigued. You're this. You're that. It didn't affect me as bad as it did the rest of the family, but it messed you up. And then of course the ice apocalypse. You know, everybody's locked out of their office for February 11th to February 22nd. A lot of people water damage. All kinds of ice and snow damage. You know, we were really lucky. We didn't lose power, we didn't lose heat, but you know, part of that is because, you know, we run this place like you're on the Great Lakes. The heater's never running above 61 degrees. You know, just put on a sweater. Don't bitch about it. Put on some extra socks. Just kidding. But, you know, the thing is that we had to shelter people in this kind of like it was a neighborhood warming station, which is a very blessed thing to be able to do. And, you know, just kind of digging out from all of that. And then all the changes that we had in January, right? You know, we had a complete paradigm shift in our team. And now we got new team members, got the right people on the bus. And you're going through all those motions. And it's last week and this week really have felt like the first two times that this bus is going in the right direction, right? Everything's clicking. Feels like the 72 bowl or the 93 bowls, you know, 72-10. Everybody's on their spot when it's time to pass the ball. And it feels great. It feels great, guys. Thank you for asking.
So it sounds like you guys are in sync, and that's important. And you had to become innovative to be able to get in sync, because not everybody fully understands your vision. And the only way for your whole team to understand your complete vision is to become creative, so that everybody gets on board with your ideologies, with your culture, with your systems and processes. And by doing so, you create my favorite word of the day, synergy, right? You created synergy with inside your house, which in turn is going to make you unstoppable. And in turn that you become legendary, KC. And that's what we all aspire to be, is somebody like you.
Yeah. One of these days, I think we're going to have to put on a 3-piece, at least the vest and the tie.
At a minimum.
We could do board shorts underneath or something.
For sure.
Man, hey, well, appreciate you guys joining in. Mike Albright, thanks for stopping by, brother. We appreciate you. Instagram over there, thanks for stopping by. We're starting to build a following through the North Texas area. And let me just explain what the Patriot Business Alliance is right now. And the reason I want to do this is because it's about our topic tonight, which is innovating forward. A couple of years ago, we started putting ourselves out there, running our mouths, throwing all this stuff out there into the universe, and then held us accountable as business owners. There couldn't be a bigger step for me as a business owner than doing this for other people. What we're trying to do is we're trying to promote success in the Patriot business world from North Texas to Houston and all the way down, so we can bring a little bit of pieces of the puzzle from our goods, bads, and indifference, the things that I've learned from Doc and the things that he's learned from other people and Casey's have learned, and just share those with you guys. So before we get started, if you guys watch this later, if you're watching it live now, do me a favor, share this to your networks. Just a few shares to different networks that we're not a part of right now could touch someone. We just got a phone call last week saying, man, actually it wasn't even a phone call. We were right here in the war room.
Yeah.
Said, hey, one of the lives you guys did really touched my heart. And this was a no bullshit conversation, down and dirty conversation. But for us to hear those kind of things that's we're putting out into the universe, that's why we're doing this. We want to see other people succeed. And that's the kind of alliance we're building here. So if you guys could do us a favor, just share it, like it, follow us. We're live on YouTube. We're live on IG. We're live on Facebook. We're trying to smother the market so everybody can understand what we're trying to do, which is essentially help other businesses be successful.
And that's, you hit the nail on the head. We are trying to dominate North Texas. We are trying to dominate the business industry, right? Trust me, I don't have all the answers. Jeff doesn't have all the answers, nor does KC. But I promise you, when we three get into the same doggone room and we start brainstorming and we start whiteboarding and we start figuring it out, we break through some barriers. We come up with solutions. And that's what it's about. How can we provide solution to the next business owner? How can we provide solution to the business owner that's been in business for 7 years, 10 years, and now he's ready to amp up and go to another level? So it takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of self-endurance.
Yeah.
Meaning I got to read my books. I got to talk to the people smarter than me. And I got to invest in the time and energy so that when we come on these lives that we actually have some substance. That we're not over here just jaw-jacking and shooting the shit and hoping somebody sees KC's pretty face. You know what I mean? He's Rockwell's most eligible married man, and he ain't going nowhere because he loves Miss Ashmore.
Most eligible man. I think he's the most eligible lawyer, right?
Lawyer.
Yeah, that's what he meant.
The law man.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
So, again, folks, if you're out there, just like Jeff said, we are learning every single day so that we can provide you with new information, so that we can walk the walk, talk the talk, and put action into the shit that we're speaking about.
That's right.
And I love the topic that we're about to dive into. It's probably one of my favorite things in life, and that's becoming innovative.
Absolutely.
So what's going on with you, Jeff? How was your week, man?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm starting to reap the benefits of the IG, the phone time belt. I don't know. Anyway,
Instagram.
Business is good, family's healthy, roof over our head, all the basics are squared away.
Perfect.
Now we're just talking about in my business, growth for my employee, because growth for my employee turns into growth for my company. And I'm starting to reap the benefits of the training, the rigorous training I've been putting him through, because I'm able to send him now to places and do his own thing. Like, look at this. I'm just going to brag for a minute. We just pre-wired a 6,000 square foot custom home in Heath in a day and a half.
Nice.
You want to talk about efficiency? You want to talk about doing it right the first time and making sure you're getting rid of all the bullshit steps that's waste time? That's how we're training my guy at Black Level AV. So that way he can step forward. I can get him somebody. So I'm innovating forward through training right now.
Yeah.
So, and it's a blessing. It's amazing to be able to trust him, put him in a situation where he's uncomfortable so he gets real growth. Not the bullshit growth.
Right.
Not the, hey, you're doing good. Now, we don't play that shit.
Mm-mm.
Like, we square it away when it's messing up and we fix it the right. So I'm blessed right now. I feel like I'm where I need to be financially. I knew bringing someone on was going to slow my sales process a little bit.
Sure.
But I'm okay because I'm not looking at just a 1 yard first down here. I'm looking at dominating the Super Bowl by 50 points. And that's the long game, and that's an innovation right there.
I want to brag on Jeff a little bit too. So check this shit out. Back, let's say we'll go about 6 months back, maybe before he ever hired somebody. I'd be like, Jeff, what's up? You want to come kick it? Man, I'm busy. I call him, man, Jeff, you want to come do it? Man, I'm busy. Like, God damn, come break a wave, right? Yeah. So today he shows up, and I said, man, Jeff, what are you doing tomorrow? He's like, man, I don't know. And I was like, dude, what? He's like, man, I don't know. I was like, well, you're not busy? He's like, no, man, I'm delegating. And he's like, I got some free time. Yeah. And I was like, boom, right? That was a bomb for me because that's the benefit of hiring right, training your people, effective delegating, becoming innovating, and then being able to take a step back, reevaluate your vision, gain some clarity, and fucking be able to enjoy your time as a business owner.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I mean, and Casey even told me this before years ago, and I'll paraphrase it, but, you know, you spend all this time working, and you don't get to enjoy your family. You don't get to enjoy, you know, being, you know, the fruits of your labor or whatever. So, and it's all because I decided when I started my business that I wasn't just in the mindset of winning now in the immediate. I built my business plan from a 5-year stance right off the bat. So I've been innovating the whole time. And in my industry, I have to innovate, bro.
Yeah.
In a technology world, if I don't know what's going on in the current state, I'm irrelevant, you know? Yeah. So, Casey, why don't you kick us off? We're going to hit Horizon Part 2. And we're going to move into this innovating forward. So go ahead and we'll give it to you, man.
Well, you know, there's a lot in that, and I kind of got a not so gentle reminder of what that entailed, because, hey guys, how many of you took a little 20-second time out or maybe even a longer 2020 time out on your innovating goals, your growth goals for 2020, right? I mean, we had some big plans over here on my old whiteboard. Right there, I'm going to read you a few things I can still see with my old tired ass eyes. Collin County office, Kaufman County office, Blitz into Chamber of Commerce, Rotary, Kiwanis, networking groups, right? You know, so now Hunt County is added to that mix. But, you know, the thing about it is, got home from South America, world shuts down. You're like, whoa, man. Maybe I'm not going to sign that big lease in, you know, forward thinking, right? Where's the growth going? Where's the business going to be in 5, 10, 15 years? Well, it's going to be in Collin County, in Hunt County, in Kaufman County, right? I mean, that's where the suburbs are going. That's where the development's going. That's where the builders are going. That's where people are moving, and they're moving there because State Farm moved their headquarters to Collin County. Raytheon moved their headquarters to Collin County. Huawei moved their headquarters to Collin County. Toyota. You just go on and on and on and on. Amazon Fulfillment Center going into Kaufman, right? I mean, we got things are happening, man. Target is talking about putting a distribution center, you know, down near Forney. I mean, there's talk, big talk for this, you know, sleepy rural farming community. Hunt County still is a place where military contractors and the people who service those those contractors are, that's still booming, right? And it has been for decades. And now they're talking about this turnpike. And hey, let me tell you something. If you think that turnpike is to take traffic out of Plano and bypass it from Rockwall onto I-30, it's not. It's to get 18-wheelers from Raytheon to L3, right, in Greenville. Like, that's the reason, right? It makes financial sense to do that because there's a need for some huge business development, right? And yeah, maybe there'll be some traffic alleviation, but a lot of that traffic is because those 18-wheelers come from Raytheon and then they bounce around to L3 and they got to drive on George Bush, then 30, then up 30 to Greenville, bypass all that, man. They just need a direct route. So, they can ship goods and services and they can make bigger, better products. The point is, where's the growth going? You got to be looking at where the growth is going. Just like you needed to be anticipating where you needed to contract in 2020. And there were some forward-thinking innovators. And we talked about that. We talked about that before on a different deal where companies like Starbucks, the Cane's fried chicken joint, right? They started shuttering stores during hurricane season. They did the same thing during coronavirus. So you got to be looking at what your industry leaders are doing to make sure you're forward thinking. Unless you've got a magic 8-ball for every solution and every problem, which none of us do, what are the world changers doing, right? Take a cue from the world changers, right? And don't always go to the school of hard knocks, Ashmore. You don't have to learn everything the hard way. You don't have to wait for the world to shut down before you go, wow, man, I'm so glad I didn't open that Plano office, right? Be innovating by monitoring what the world changers are doing. That's one thing to do to look forward. And real quick, I want to give a thanks to JD. You're right. I'm not in the war room. There's a little confusion there. We're traveling tomorrow, but I am in the virtual room. And Chief Garrett, thanks for dropping in. Amy, thanks for dropping in. Absolutely appreciate you guys' comments. And you're right, man. You got to be about it. You got to keep doing it. But back to innovation, right? So how do we continue to innovate? Last time we talked about phones, right? I kind of put y'all in the hot tub time machine. We talked about Nokia, how they used to be the sponsor for anything motorsport, right? Anything related to motocross, motor racing, motorcycling, MotoGP, off-road racing, Dakar, Baja 1000, you name it. Nokia was the big sponsor. They were the biggest phone maker in the world. Now they make components for other phone manufacturers. BlackBerry, same thing, right? The BlackBerry. Some of y'all may not remember the BlackBerry, but it was the first PDA. That's what they called them back then, right? A data device that had a full keyboard, little miniature keyboard, but they didn't. It revolutionized business. You could get emails on it. It could integrate with Microsoft Office. It could do all these amazing things. But within 4 or 5 years, it was irrelevant. From 04 to 2009, 10 till iPhone 4 came out, it dominated the world. But then it's gone. It is literally an afterthought used only by the federal government and a few other government agencies around the world, because not enough forward thinking.
Casey, let me interject there. So what happened with that was someone innovated a technology that did exactly what you just said, which is to see where the growth is taking place and see where the game changers are taking the industry. And those other game changers completely blew that market out of the way, because I have a BlackBerry that's sitting in a drawer right now. And sometimes when I'm looking for like a guitar cable or something, I'll run across it. Oh shit, look at this thing. And show it to my 14-year-old, and he's all, what the hell is that thing? But innovating is, I like how you pointed out there. That's a good one that I'm going to take away. That's an action item for me. Look where growth is taking place, because I'm seeing that in my business where I'm growing in different avenues where I expected to myself to be. So I'm right where I needed to be, right where I expected myself to be. Let's talk a little bit about where you can look at those growth, like in different industries. Let's talk about not necessarily the roofing or the AV or the legal, but for the other people that are listening and watching this, let's do some broad strokes from a painting, right? So where can we find?
I'm gonna tell you what, like he hit the net. Like when you started telling me about the growth in Collin County, Hunt County, and Kaufman County.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know that me and my wife we purchase houses.
Yeah.
We renovate and flip them. So when you said that they're running that turnpike through Greenville, that my brain automatically went, shit, I better start looking for dilapidated homes at bottom market value and go buy them up and then sit on them for 3 to 5 years, remodel them. Yeah. And then once that turnpike's done, that $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 home that I bought is now going to be $150,000, $180,000, $200,000.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I got out of your what you just stated, Casey, was whenever you see the big guys like the fucking sharks out there, Amazon, Target, Raytheon, when you see them making that PGA came out to Frisco, when you start seeing these companies, these multi-billion-dollar companies making up and moving out of a state and coming to your state.
And not only your state, but your area.
But your freaking backyard.
Yeah.
Like you better get on this damn gravy train, because what's going to happen? You're going to be like, oh, man, I wasn't ready. I went to sleep and woke up. And next thing I know, freaking there's a Target distribution center. I could have bid on that project.
Yeah.
Right? I could have been a part of that. Mm-hmm. I could have been part of a new home building phase. I could have taken some working capital and been a part of the investment side of the house. So people need to be able to understand that money sitting in your bank isn't doing shit for you.
Honestly, I learned recently because I had the mindset of, oh, my bank looks good. Oh, my bank looks good. And then talked to my mentor and he's like, your money is just sitting there. And it's actually the worst place your money can be.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And I never thought of it, but thinking back, you got to have assets, with land or stocks, or you got to have a portfolio. And once you start putting that money into it, now it's those markets can crash and blah, blah, blah. But look at it this way. If every penny you own is in one spot, what good is it doing for you? Yeah. Your money needs to be making you money. And innovating in your business allows you to do that. When we talk about innovation, it's not just creating a new tangible item. Mm-hmm. We're talking about the side effect of thinking of big picture moves, investments. Like you're saying, you buy a house for 50 and sell it for 125. Who wouldn't do that all day, every day? So your money is part of innovating as well. What am I going to do with my working capital in my business? This guy tells me all the time what to do with money. And I go to him because I'm like, okay, what's the next step for here? Not everything he does works for me, right? Or not everything I do works for Casey, but go to the people that you see that are more successful than you and say, hey, let's just use a number here. I got $5,000. What would you do with it?
Me? I'd buy $5,000 worth of gold.
Okay. Casey, if you have $5,000 disposable income right now, what would you do with it? Innovating forward to your business. I can't hear a word you're saying, but
he's so muted.
But you look purity. You look real good.
Yeah. I was gonna. It was profound and brilliant. I was gonna say that's a halfway to a good 1973 FLH Harley Davidson, but okay, never mind. What I would do with it.
Innovating for your business is
right. Yeah, I know you had to put that daggum qualifier.
I don't know, but if that Harley Davidson, if you sit on it for 5 years and you trick it out, are you going to be able to turn it from 5,000 to 10,000?
No,
so that's a liability and not an asset.
I put too many miles on them, so no. But here's the deal. What could I do with that? I think the best advice that I've gotten recently, and I want to share with you, is how do you multiply yourself, right? And how do you build up a good team when you have surrounded yourself with good team members? I'm gonna talk about a few notes I got. So I would take that money and I would use that. I think if I were going to reinvest it in the business, I would either reinvest it in infrastructure, new computers, new office automation, things like that. But right now we don't need any of that. So I would probably use that on some payroll, right? To fund some payroll to help us with our hiring strategy, right? You know, we need to anticipate where the holes are going to be in the growth plan that we got, and we need to have our team members start figuring out how to recruit and hire the people that will ultimately replace them, because they need to move up. And when you think about what even just $5,000 might do to somebody in your team, right? And I don't know what your payroll needs are, but you know, when you think about the difference between a 1099 employee and a W-2 employee, in my opinion, you get more bang for the buck with people who actually work for you, and more importantly, they are fiduciaries to the company, which means they have a duty of loyalty to the company, which means that they know and you know that they can't actively screw you over, compete with you. An independent contractor, well, they're independent, dog. And if they get a little side hustle, even though it's in the audiovisual world, they can do the side hustle. They're independent, but your employee cannot. So making that investment into, I know, Jeff, you talk about Big Country. You're the young man who you've hired, and I know that's his nickname. But, you know, if he were to come in, if you say, hey, I got $5,000, and maybe you're going to hold back the other $5,000 for his first 5 or 6 weeks of salary, right? But if Big Country can come in with a candidate, and you can make an investment of $5,000 to $10,000, and then get a 4 times return on investment. So what is let's
20,000.
Yeah, okay, good. I don't like doing math, especially this late at night. Right? I mean, what does that mean to you? Right? If you can get a 20,000 return on investment by investing 5 with Big Country to help find a replacement, even if it's part-time employee, that's a huge win for your company. That's, I think, a better way to spend that money than on a 1973 FLH.
Well, I agree with the Harley side of it too, but you know, I think every business is different.
Mm-hmm.
Every innovative plan that comes across the table, when we have some working capital that we want to invest, can be used in a number of different ways. The employee thing, you're absolutely right. I think that's one of the best investments that I've made personally into my company. But you also get the guys, and this is a double-edged sword here, playing devil's advocate. You have to be careful when you hire. You know what I mean? Because some people always think the grass is greener. I had an employee that worked for me in the previous company that I was an employee at. Wasn't mine at all. Shitbag attitude, always had a pissy attitude. Nothing made him happy. The boss kept throwing him money.
Yeah.
Kept throwing him money, thinking that, if I pay this guy enough, he'll be happy. The guy was making boatloads of money and was still not happy. So be cautious with that. That's all I'm saying, right?
No, you're 1,000% right when it comes to the hiring process. And I did the exact same thing. I allocated X amount of dollars this year to hiring effective sales reps.
Yeah, you did it too.
Right? And I'm looking at my board, man. I'm up to 10 sales reps. But I give them incentives as well. So whenever you do have a surplus in money in your business, it's not to go out and frivolously spend it.
Yeah.
And I'm the world's worst. You can talk to my old lady. She hates me for it, but whatever. But you have it, but you don't shit it all out in one shot, right? Yeah. If you got $20,000 and you want to invest into 10 sales reps, well, that's $1,000, over a 2-week period, and you're giving them each person $100 a day. You know what I mean? So therefore, you're giving them that incentive to work hard and get out there and earn more. So you're 100% right. When you hire somebody the correct way, then you get to keep longer and you can feed them out. You know what I mean? There's other ways that you can hire right processes. And there's a great person that's a part of this group that knows the ins and outs of hiring. Yeah. And we plan on bringing that person on real soon. But Casey, you made an outstanding point, the 1099 versus the W-2 person.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Now, is it a little bit more expensive to hire a W-2? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Because you're almost paying double tax on them, right? You're paying the company tax, and then you're taking out the Medicare, Medicaid, FICA, blah, 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 all that other bullshit tax, which I personally think Social Security is a crock of shit because you never would get that money back when you're old and dead.
Nope.
But nonetheless, you now have quasi control over that individual. Just because they're a W-2 doesn't mean they don't show up to work and tell you to get big.
Yeah, but hold up here. Let's get real with this. You really never have control of an employee.
You never control nobody.
Because the state of Texas is an at-will employment state.
That's right.
I can fire you for no damn reason at all, and that guy can quit no reason at all.
That's right.
Here's my thought process to it. If I treat my employees better than I treat myself, and the respect is both ways,
yeah,
I give that person no reason to go find an opportunity. Actually, in fact, I give that person a reason to say, I don't need your side work, homie.
Right.
My boss takes care of me.
That's right.
I'm home every day at 4:30. I got the weekends off. He pays me well, whatever it is it may be. So we should actually do a whole thing about employees and bring somebody in that's a subject matter expert on that.
Yeah.
Because we're just small business owners with a handful of employees collectively between us. There are people out there that have a much more professional standpoint on it. I love that idea. Let's bookmark that for sure. Innovating with your employees is key. Now, I want to get back to the topic here because that's a part of your innovation.
Yep.
When you bring up your business plan, your business model, whatever, every single business, 99.5% of businesses revolve around employees. Mm-hmm. They're the ones that do the work. They're the ones in the trenches. To be honest with you, us as leaders work for them, in my opinion. Would you say that's an accurate statement, Casey?
Yeah, I mean, you had me texting a buddy of mine who's gonna come talk to us about employees and the benefits to having contractors versus W-2 wage and withholding employees, and I think he's going to be a great addition to this alliance. He's an employment attorney. That's all he's done for the 12 years I've known him. Since he got out of law school, I met him building houses for Habitat for Humanity 13, 14 years ago. Just a great guy named Greg McAllister. And I'm going to ensure that he's a guest on the next one of these because it's absolutely critical to be thinking about, right people on the bus and what is the best way to staff up, right? And protect yourself at the same time. And so for some companies, the 1099 contractor may actually be the way to go. On the other hand, the employee may be better, maybe have that benefit for you. So I'm gonna get that lined up before the end of the night, guys. Jeff, sorry, I was answering your first question.
I'm gonna pick up where you're at, so that you're gonna be able to regain your thought, Casey. So, and I became innovative in the roofing company because it's expensive.
Yeah.
Real talk, it's expensive to have a W-2 employee, and you don't want to devalue the person you hire either, right? So you typically, we'll say one of my employees, he gets $2,500 a month. It's a salary. There's no hours. There's nothing like that because some days you work 8 hours, 10 hours. Some days you work 2 hours.
Yeah.
Right. Like I guarantee the hours are going to get there. But here's the incentive. I offer a W-2 plus commission. Right. So if I got my guy who's a W-2 employee and he's getting his base salary and you keep him hungry. Right? You're like, damn, $2,500. That's just cutting it. That's barely making it. But if you say, you know what, if you want to get that unlimited earning potential, let's get out there and make some sales. Let's get out there and close some deals. Let's put them in that commission structure at the same time. And I feel like that has been really, really beneficial for me and in my industry because roofing and construction is sales based.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I can't make money if I don't go and talk to the homeowner and let them know that their roof's all jacked up. I can't go out and do drug testing if I can't go out and talk to a business and say, hey man, you got my man out here, you got my man over here smoking crack rock in the parking lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's important with any business, if you don't have an effective sales and you're not innovative in your technique of sales, then you're destined for failure.
So let's talk about this then. Let's talk about how do you innovate your sales process? Because we're all salesmen, no matter what business you're in. You're trying to sell a solution.
Yeah.
You're trying to fix a problem and come up with a solution to it. So any business is expensive. My business, I got to buy all the electronics. It's expensive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So my sales process has to be on point. Do I win every contest? Absolutely not. To be honest with you, my close rate could be a lot better, but I'm okay with it because I'm training. I'm in a growth pattern right now.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about the sales process and how you can innovate that. I'm gonna give it to you because you're dealing with it right now.
Yeah.
So tell us what you're doing. Let's tell the viewers what they can be doing.
So the way I stay innovative in the sales paradigm is nobody loves to be sold.
Nah.
Right?
They want a deal.
Nobody wants to talk to the used car salesman. And sorry if any of you guys out there listen to used car salesmen, you're better than that. Okay? You're fucking better than that. Don't sell hoopties to a single mom with 5 kids. Don't do it. It's not fair. Anyways, how do you stay proactive in your sales game? I look and see what my competition's doing. Right?
I think we've talked about this in the past.
So
right?
I understand what is my competition doing? What are they offering that I'm not? And so I recently implemented a referral program. How do you get more sales? Referrals.
Yeah.
I ask for the referral. Give me 5 people. And if any of those 5 people join me and let me do work for them, I pay them $250.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want passive income? Right? Other ways. I offer to upgrade in value. I came up with a clever little name called Doc's Dollars.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not giving you money. I'm giving you value back to your home.
Yeah.
Right? So that right there allows the sales process to run a little bit smoother. Because at the end of the day, if I give you $100, you better give me at a minimum $100 worth of value.
Without question.
Right?
Yeah.
But if you give me $100 and I give you $200 worth of value, you're going to tell everybody about me. You're like, man, you got to talk to this guy, Doc. He's fucking crazy. I gave him $100 and he gave me $200 back in value, right? The trick is to understand that when you're selling to your client, you're not selling them. You're providing value to them.
You're providing a solution.
You're giving them the right, because they all have a pain point, and you figure out what their pain point is, right? And oftentimes as salespeople, we don't know how to shut up.
I could agree with that.
Right? So I often tell my salespeople, the first one to talk loses. Right?
That's been said too by some pretty successful
So if I
salespeople.
pitch you, hey man, you got damage on the roof. Do you want me to go do this? And I shut up. First one to talk loses, right? So just like in the court, right? First one to you pose that freaking open-ended question, and they're thinking, right? And they're like, oh, and they're itching to make their comment back, but you're patient. You're sitting there waiting for their rebuttal, right? Because you want to have that counter attack ready. Yeah. You want to already presume what they're going to be their objection is. If you have a sales team, you better have a list of objections that you've already gone over with your team in order for them to be ready. You don't go into war with only 50 rounds.
Yeah, you need to prepare, and that's part of the innovation process.
That's right.
Innovating your response and understanding if client says A, we say B. And we're not saying come up with bullshit answers. We're talking about value-packed education. We're all certified in what we do. No bullshit answers back to them, because we've gone over this and said it a million times. People will see right through the bullshit.
Oh, right. I can't tell you. You go, like, most homeowners are more experienced in their insurance claim process than the new hire sales rep. Like, and if you haven't taught your sales team, like, Google's our worst friend, our best friend and worst enemy.
Yeah.
Right? They're already going to tell me what the price per product is. They're already going to tell me what the warranty is. They're already going to know. So if you got to understand that if I call Jeff to come run my sound system and he's like, no, man, I need you to use Clips or Sony, whatever. And I'm like, no, man, I was looking at this one right here and it's Yokohama. And you're like, damn, he knows about Yokohama? How do you figure out about Yokohama? And I don't know what Yokohama is. I think it's actually a tire. Yeah. Yokohama tire. But you see what I'm saying? That you better be smarter than Google during your sales process, because I promise you, they have already done their research.
Well, here's my rebuttal to that is when a client comes back to me and says, well, I found so-and-so on whatever website for a third of the cost. I say, well, by all means, not every client's my client. And I'm going to tell them straight away, because my goal in the sales world, what's our goal? It's to get to the yes or no as fast as possible.
So let's get that ink on paper.
Right? It's to get to the yes or no. And if it's yes, then we're good to go. If it's a no, great. Shake their hand, be polite. Make sure they think of you in the future, but don't burn the bridge. But let's get to the bottom line. We're in the business of getting to the yes or no sooner than later. Yep. So if it's a yes, we can proceed with the project planning. If it's a no, we can move on to the next candidate. So I like what you're doing there. I've been following some of the things that you've been doing. The Docs Dollars, that's pretty cool, man. It's catchy, right?
It's catchy.
But it's going to work.
It will work. It does work.
Because you're right. If you're going to give me $100 and I'm going to give you back 200, you're going to remember me every day of the week. Time. So Casey, innovating your sales process, because you're a little bit different, but give us something that the users can take away.
Well, look, man, we're not all that different, right? And I love what Amy put in the comment, right? You can have everything you want in life if you just help enough people get what they want in life. And that's from the great Zig Ziglar. And everybody is a student of the great Zig. And tell you a little funny story. My dad was a salesman for IBM. And I used to make fun of him for listening to Zig Ziglar, and now I'm like, man, I was dumb making fun of Dad listening to Zig, because Zig knows what he's talking about. But Zig also listened to other innovators in sales like Napoleon Hill, really one of the founders.
The OG.
Yeah, the OG, sales. Original gangster, right? He's the Snoop Dogg of sales in our modern world. But here's what I'll say. Like, if you want to innovate in sales, everything, y'all, is sales. Everything you do. My commitment to the Patriot Business Alliance is a sale. I've got to sell these two knuckleheads that you're seeing in the war room that I'm worthy of being part of this 93 Bulls team every Wednesday night. And how do I do that? I put in the reps. Right? I put in the reps. I show up to practice, not always on time. I give you that. Never
on time.
But never on time. But I work hard. I hit those free throws. I get those rebounds. Right? I can do a layup. I got my outside shot. I got it. I got the hook. Right? I got the try. Right? I can hit 5 threes in the game. No, whatever it is. Right? You put in the work. Right? You convince. You sell. You're always selling, right? Why is Mrs. Rannigan celebrating her 93rd anniversary with Michael Rannigan, right? Well, it's Michael's 93rd anniversary. It's her 21st. But you know what I'm saying is, like, the reason why is because he's selling her every night on the marriage, on the relationship. Amy Lynn Johansson, Jeff Skinner, right? The same for Casey Ashmore, right? You're selling. Stay with me. I'm all in. I'm going to convince you that tomorrow I'm going to be all in because I put in the work yesterday, right? It's all about sales. So how do you innovate when it comes to sales? You got to be creative. You got to think outside the box, and you got to invest in yourself and in your team to develop sales training, right? You've got to innovate and you got to develop sales training. I'm going to tell you some things that I would recommend doing. Write some scripts. A lot of people, I don't like scripts, man. I just go in and I wing it. But why would you do that? Why would you go in and wing it? Why would you practice in the bam? Aren't you tired of School of Hard Knocks after 2020? Aren't you tired of the School of Hard Knocks after 2020? How many more lumps on the head? You're going to look like Tom and Jerry after that little animal tornado, right? Bing, 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 bing. You're going to come out all bandaged, knots on your head. Crazy, right? Don't practice in the School of Hard Knocks. Practice with your team members, just like you do in the military or in a professional sports environment or in your beer league for softball, hockey, golf, whatever it is, right? You practice in the gym so you perform on the field. And this is something that I'm embarrassed as a veteran that it took me almost 25 years to learn this lesson. And I learned it from other business innovators, people like Goggins, who wrote Can't Hurt Me, right? He's not a business guy. He's just a motivational speaker guy. But he's a
hardcore Navy SEAL.
Right, former Navy SEAL, but he's like, practice in the gym, knucklehead. And I'm like, oh, dog, maybe I ought to go practice in the gym on my sales, right? I mean, I have for years practiced legal arguments in the gym, right? You know, mock trials, sometimes a mock jury together. You know, you get some people from a neighboring county to sit down and listen to some legal arguments, maybe watch some video film of what happened in the case, and then you see what they think. That's like going to the gym. Why did it take me 20-something years to realize what I learned in the military, that the drill on the practice field works in business? Don't practice your sales on your customer where it costs you the most. I don't know why I lost that sale. I might have said something stupid. No. Practice on your team, right? Practice with your alliance. If you don't have a team, if you're the only salesperson in your team, cool. Practice with your alliance, right? Practice on Jeff Skinner. Practice on Casey Ashmore, Amy Lynn Johansson. Chief Garrett probably don't have time for this nonsense right now. He's running the county. But you know what I'm saying, right? Practice with your alliance.
Well, let me jump in right there.
Who will help make you better. Go, hey, Casey, the way you said that didn't make any sense. Take that nonsense out of it. Say this, this, and this. And then more importantly, develop a rhythm, right? So you're not losing sales opportunities because you're practicing on the people who want to be your customer. Because the other thing I'll tell you, and I know I'm going on a second here, so sorry.
Yeah,
when a client comes to you, dude, they have, yeah, I know. Put your hand down, Skinner. They have been shopping. They have been shopping the interwebs. They are on the 30 or 40 yard line by the time they get to you, Mike, Casey,
I already know, baby.
Skinner, Amy, Chief Garrett. They're probably on the goal line when they get to you, right? Because they're already wearing the silver bracelets. But you know what I'm saying, right? They have shopped, right? They are ready. They are educated. They need you to get them from the 35 to the 40 to the red zone, you know, down to the 1 and then across the goal line. So they've already got so much information when they get to you, Jeff, that you don't have to work so hard. But you have to be prepared to get them from the red zone to the 1 yard line. That's what you got.
I look at that differently. I know my clients in my industry have more information than I would like them to have.
Yeah.
I have that's not making my job easier. That makes it harder, right? Because now I have to go back and say, okay, see all this stuff you looked up on Google at 2:30 in the morning last night? It's all wrong. You know why? Because when you go buy that equipment from whatever knucklehead that's sitting in a trailer in Mississippi, who's going to service that? Who's going to fix that when it does go bad? Because whatever. So I don't look at that as it's a positive and negative. We like informed clients, but we also have to understand that not all information is good information, and not all dollar signs on a Google AdWord or a freaking eBay post. You know, I literally, in my experience in my industry, have had clients buy stuff off eBay and it showed up in an empty box.
No doubt.
Without question, dude.
Fuck that.
I'm telling you, no bullshit. So if that's a lesson to you, you feel like you're getting a good deal, hope you get the shit.
Yeah.
I'm serious, dead serious. So what I wanted to touch on, because we got about 10 minutes left here, was, yeah, we want to innovate. We want to improve our sales process. But the thing that kept coming to my mind right now, and it's something I need to work on, is follow through, follow up. You can be the best salesman in the world. If you got no follow up, dude, you're just leaving money on the table all day, every day. And I'm just being transparent as hell. I'm leaving money on the table right now because my follow-up game isn't as strong as it needs to be.
Man, that's called FU money.
Yeah.
Like I'll punch my sales team right in the jaw. We have a rule around here. You touch your client 5 times from the first day you met them.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about, so I got real creative. Here's a real creative thing I do. So I get done with my client that I just met, and they're on the fence. I'll get inside my truck. I'll turn on my video camera. I'll say, hey, thank you, Mr. Homeowner, for allowing me to do X, Y, and Z. I look forward to talking to you again. 15 seconds. I text that video to them. Want to know why? Somebody just asked me why. Why, Mike? Let me tell you why. Glad you asked, Jeff. Because now every time that I send them a text, guess what they see?
That video.
My ugly freaking mug. So what I'm going to do is subconsciously get embedded into their brain housing group so that they remember that I'm the guy that knocked on their door first. I'm the guy that talked to them first. It's human interaction, right? The follow-up is in the money. The money is in the follow-up. My money is in your pocket. Understand that. So if you talk to somebody today, you better be damn know that I'm going to talk to them on tomorrow and for the next 4 days afterwards.
Yeah.
Via email, via text, via phone call. Hell, if I'm in your neighborhood and I see your car, I might just stop by and knock on your door just to say hi because I'm that kind of guy. I'm aggressive. And if you're in sales, you better be aggressive because I promise you, that guy right over there, that dude's way hungrier than I am. That guy's just now started out in the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And oftentimes salesmen or business owners, they get to a level and they get complacent, right? And then they wonder why. They're like, man, how come I'm not where my competition is? It's because you got comfortable with inside of yourself and you chose not to take the additional steps. You chose not to hire out of fear. You chose whatever your doubt is because we are our worst enemies.
Yeah. We're in competition with ourselves.
I can talk myself out of a freaking, you know what I'm saying? Oh, man, Mike, don't worry about it. They'll call you. You know it's a good impression on them. You got to follow up with them. Because when they tell me no, that means to me not right now. Right?
You've always said that, yeah.
Right? No means not right now. So unless somebody says, Michael, don't ever call and talk to me again, then I'm going to be like, okay.
I'll call you tomorrow.
Okay. But in 1 year, I'll have a reminder that I'll have Aaron call him.
Yeah.
I'll have a different sales rep reach out to him. Right? You try ghosting me, I got a burner phone to call you on. Like, I am aggressive. I am innovative. Right? Because you can't become legendary doing bullshit.
You can't,
right?
Yeah.
You can't be a 10 millionaire, a billionaire, whatever air you want to be, half-assing, half-stepping.
Yeah.
Because when you half-step, half measures avail us nothing.
I needed to hear that tonight. Stay hungry. I needed to hear that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you said it because it's not that I'm not hungry, but it just brought me back to a year ago where I was a different hungry than I am today. I'm the same level of hungry. I'm just not as aggressive. So I appreciate you saying that because I needed to hear that. That's key.
Because you got complacent. You got an employee.
Well,
right? No, but it happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
No, and I was just thinking, nah. But you know what? There's a part of me that if we're being transparent, because we are in this show and this is what this alliance is about, is being honest with each other. There's days where I am complacent. There's days where I'm not as hungry. Because I got a little money in the bank. I bought some land. I got some stocks. I got an employee. But I haven't made nothing. Yeah. I'm not anywhere where my potential can take me.
Right.
And if you take nothing away from this tonight, because that's what I'm taking away from this, is stay hungry, stay innovative, and believe more in the fact that you can do more. Believe that you're not where you need to be right now because you can do so much more. That's what this show was about. I think you just kind of summed up the whole last 2 weeks. Stay hungry.
Yeah.
I needed that. Thank you.
Because if you stay hungry and you stay thirsty and you forget about it, and maybe that's why I spend so much so I can stay broke. You know what I mean? You hear that, Rochelle? I spend so much damn money until I can stay broke so I can stay hungry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's legitimate.
And it's fair to say, okay? They're like, why don't you ever have any money, Mike? I spent it all so I can go out and get more.
Yeah.
Right? I was talking to a young lady today when I was in Kaufman, and she was just like, the world was caving down on her. And I said, what are you going to do about it? She's like, there's nothing I can do about it.
Bullshit.
And I was like, elaborate for me. And she's like, well, I can't do this. I can't do that. And I can't do this. And I said, do me a small favor. Try saying that same sentence without the word "and" in it. And she kind of confused. And I was like, just say, I can walk over here. Oh, my car is broken. Well, your feet aren't. Right? Oh, I don't have this. Well, one of your friends do. All we're saying out here, people, is become willing to do the things that nobody else wants to do. And that's it. And stay hungry.
For sure.
Be the what is that guy? The the beer dude, Dos Equis guy.
Oh,
Stay thirsty, my friends.
Interesting guy.
The most interesting man in the world, right? Stay thirsty. And that's what you have to do in order to survive the game of business and to become an entrepreneur so that you leave a legacy for the people behind you. You stay hungry because one is not enough and 1,000's too many. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And that's just where you have to be at in your mind today is aggressive, hungry, and just become willing. I mean, fuck, what time is it? 8 o'clock at night? You think that we all really want to be up here right now at 8 o'clock at night, at home, missing dinner, not kicking with our friends and family? You know what I mean? The sacrifices that we make today will have a lasting impression tomorrow and 5 years from now. And that's how you have to be a forward-thinking creator. It's understand that what you do now should have a lasting impact 5 years from today.
I love that. What do you got? Save rounds, Casey?
Man, that's
heavy, dude.
Sorry.
I
just got fucking fired up, guys.
No,
I love it.
Oh man, like,
well,
I'm excited. I got goosebumps right now. Like, I don't know, man. It is a passion. I hope you guys hear it in my tone, in my voice, and everything, man. Because there's nothing more important than somebody coming up and saying, you know what, whatever you just said, took their mind out of the gutter, polished it back up, and said, fuck it, boom, let's ride.
You know what? And that's kind of where we started, right? You know, we started with like, I got this old vision board that I haven't quite taken down yet. And the reason why is because there were so many things. There were so many things from School of Hard Knocks 2020 that got put on pause, right? That ended up in the ditch, that ended up in the gutter. And they ended up, like, open a new office in Collin County. Man, the place that I wanted to lease the office from shut down. They're in Chapter 11, right? It's not like
that building, Casey.
Man, I'm glad I didn't buy that. At this point, I'm glad I didn't buy that building, right? But the thing about it is that it's time to start fishing in those waters, right? Clean the shit off your gear, right? If it's got dust on it, if it's been sitting in the locker, clean the trash off your lines and get them back in the water, right? Make those plans for expansions. Those plans need to be locked down. Start making those recruitment. They can't be goals anymore, right? If you want to be the greatest roofing and contracting service in North Texas, you got to start right now. Right? I mean, dude, it is March 10th, which means it's basically Q2. Dust off that old shit from 2020, get the trash off your lines, and start recruiting to make those goals a reality now, right? Making sure that you have some standardized systems in place. You know what has kept you profitable and kept and sustained your business so that you can stay broke but spend a bunch of money during the pandemic, Mike, right? You know what those things are. Have you documented them? Are they standardized procedures yet? Or are you, like I was a year ago, like you're the key man? You get hit, you break your back in Patagonia, what happens to your business? Oh, whoa. Thank God it was just a flesh wound, right? Standardized business practices is forward thinking. The business grows, the business innovates in spite of you, not because of you, right? What are you doing to document that, to film it, to write it down, to make sure that Mike too, right? Whether that's Aaron Withrow, Jeff Skinner, Casey Ashmore, doesn't matter. Whoever that's going to be, who's going to be your doppelganger, they have standardized systems so that the company grows in spite of you, not because of you. The marketing happens in spite of you, because not only because of you, not because you close every sale, send every selfie video, do every touch, do all those 5 follow-ups. You need a team who knows how to standardize. They got to model it. They know it works. They model it. They replicate it. They grow it. Brandon Dawson, Grant Cardone, Gary Vaynerchuk, they all teach this. The other guy that Chris Massenberg likes, I brain cramp right now, doesn't matter. But those business innovators will all teach you the same thing, right? You elevate excellence by standardization.
Whoa, say that one more time.
Elevate excellence through standardization.
Hey, that's huge, man. And I also wanted to say one more thing that, like, I hate to write shit down, but when I heard you say record yourself, your standard operating procedure, like, that's money to me.
Man, we do
Because
it all
I
the
can
time.
do that all day. I can put the camera on and tell people explain to people my core values, my culture, because I'm more animated. I'm more visual, right?
Yeah.
And so when I have a new hire, I tell them, hey, you need to watch these 4 videos, and it's me talking to them. And like, now you can check off and say, yeah, I read that. I understand what you're thinking. And now I'm crystal clear. The problem with writing stuff down is people start reading between the lines, or they just kind of toss it to the side and this, that, and the other.
And you have to write it. You got time for that shit? I'm against all that book learning.
I'm not writing shit, man. I ain't doing it.
Man, I tell you what, dude, I feel like every time we do this, man, we hit our stride right at the time to quit, man. But I think if there's a few takeaways from here, I'll just touch real quick on the training portion of it. Take your time training that person.
Sure.
If it takes you 20 hours to train that person and they can now do 40 hours worth of work for you, it's well worth it every damn time.
For sure.
Stay hungry, stay innovative. If you need help finding new ideas for your business, reach out to people that aren't even in your industry.
Yeah, that's huge. Huge.
Talk to people that aren't. We're not even close in industries here, and we always bounce each other's ideas off each other.
Yeah.
You know, we always have the aha moment, like, damn it, I knew that, but I needed to hear you tell me that.
Yeah.
So look into your network, talk to the people that are not in your industry, stay hungry, join us every week. Hey man, we're going on.
I don't even know.
This might be the year mark.
We're at 1 year.
We're at 1 year. Every fucking week for a year.
A year.
You want to talk about consistency? Not everything we said has been perfect. Not everything we said has probably been accurate. But I tell you what, we have been innovating. We have started the Patriot Business Alliance. We're expanding. We're growing our team. We're here to help you out. Reach out to us. Our email is patriotbusinessalliancetx@gmail.com. If you have questions, you want to get involved, you want to be on the show, we got the war room, I think, pretty well dialed in at this point. We're ready. So
we're ready.
One last pin, one last save round, maybe for next time. Hey, if you take a risk on some of this advice. Doc and Jeff said do a ride along. So I'm thinking like Training Day, right? like Denzel and Ethan Hawke, right? Okay, I'm going to do a ride along. Got a new employee. We're going to do a ride along. It's great advice, man. It was the best training day ever. That's an innovation. That's not an innovation that I would have done in my business sector. This stuff works if you work it, man. Put in the reps. I'm sorry to interrupt, Jeff. Thank you. I wanted to share that.
You're good, brother.
I want to thank you. I want to thank you both for that idea on innovation, which was literally from the last show, right? I was like, okay, I've never done a ride along. I'm going to do a ride along. We got a new employee. We got to see if this is going to work. I'm going to innovate. We're going to do this. It worked great. It was the best team building, attorney development that I think I've ever done. It was great.
Well, the beauty behind it is you capture that individual, right? And you throw them the freaking hard questions. They can't go nowhere at 80 miles an hour down Interstate 30. Like, you got them. Like, it's either you're going to be a part of me or you're not, because otherwise we're going for broke out here. But like Jeff said, Casey said, man, you guys are more than welcome on this show anytime you want. You can come into the war room. We can Zoom you into the war room. You can do it any way you want. We just want you to be committed and be a part of us so that we can be a part of you, so that we can grow and be successful together. That's all we got, folks. Thank you for tuning in. We look forward to being with you guys next week. And that's all I got. Fair winds, following seas, all that good shit. Jeff, I'm out.
$10,000 Thursday tomorrow.
$10,000 Thursday. Get some.
All right, boys. Y'all be good, man.
Thank you, guys. Have a great night.
Be good at it. Oh.